fellow travelers. Welcome to the Pilari Present South Africa podcast, which is a podcast that follows my tour of South Africa as a local, and it particularly focuses on cultural heritage tourism in the country. In today's episode, we are focusing on free Cape Town birthday specials. So, typically, Cape Town can be a very expensive place to visit and also live in. But from my stay in Cape Town, one thing I've also discovered is that there are affordable or free things that one can do or experience in the city. And in Cape Town, there are certain tourist attractions where one is allowed free birthday entrances for the entire week. What that means is if your birthday is on a Tuesday and you can't attend or visit an attraction or a destination where they allow you a free entrance on your birthday, then you still have the rest of the week to still be able to do so. If you're a student or if you're working, then you can go visit on a Friday or during the weekend. So that's what it means that you have this chance, this opportunity to enter certain tourist attractions or destinations um, during your birthday week on any day during your birthday week. However, when you get to these destinations, you have to present a valid South African ID, or else you won't get this free birthday special entrance. Um, so, with that said, I'm not sure if this also applies to international tourists, but I do know that as a South African, you are you have this privilege. Um, I know that because I personally, I personally used these birthday specials in different attractions and destinations. And what are those? What are those attractions where you can get a free birthday special entrance? Well, those are the Cape Wheel ride at the V&A waterfront, the Two Oceans Aquarium at the V&A waterfront, and a return trip Cable Mountain cable car ride. So those are the three places that I can recommend because I've used them. I have went to the destination and used that privilege of being a South African and visiting the attraction on my birthday or on the week of my birthday. There are other free special birthday entrances that I know about. However, because I haven't used them, I do not feel comfortable recommending them because um on this podcast I prefer to talk about my experience, right? Even in the introduction, I say that it's a documentation of my tour of the country as a local. And so, yeah, I do not feel comfortable sharing um, information about things that I have not experienced myself because yeah, I do not want to put you in a potential situation where you could have a very unpleasant experience. Let me, test it out for you guys first so that I can tell you whether it is okay to go or not. Okay? Let's continue with the episode. So, when I was in Cape Town, um I decided that I am gonna, visit these three attractions that I have mentioned on my birthday when I found out about these birthday specials. Usually, I don't celebrate my birthday. However, when I was in Cape Town, I decided that, you know what? I'm in Cape Town. I'm going to treat myself. And now that I know that I can do it for free, I am really, really going to take advantage of this. And so that is what I did for my birthday in November of 2019. My birthday is on the 1st of November, if you're curious. So, yeah, in 2019, on that date, I decided that I'm gonna do that. And what really gave me also the courage or the confidence to 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 plan such a day for myself was that my birthday fell on a Friday, right? So yeah, I had a free day and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And so my itinerary for that day was to go to the V&A waterfront and visit the Cape Wheel, and then following that, go to the Two Oceans Aquarium, and then end the day by visiting Table Mountain and watching the sunset from Table Mountain, right? Because in South Africa, that time of the year is still spring. So yeah, the days are nice and warm and longer, and the sunsets are just beautiful, right? Because there's no clouds in the sky. So it's just a very beautiful, clear um view of the sunset. And so that was my plan. And so earlier in the day, I started with my first pit stop, the Cape Wheel ride. And what the Cape Wheel ride is, it's like a merry-go-round. Is merry-go-round the correct word? I don't know if merry-go-round is the correct word, but it's like this wheel that goes in circles. And there are carts, right, in this wheel where, tourists can sit and have a view of the city at different angles. At some point during this wheel ride, you're at the bottom, and at some point, you're halfway, just mid-air, and then on another point you're at the top of the wheel, and so you get a much more panoramic view of the city. I hope I'm doing my best. Just research or Google Cape Wheel ride, and I'm sure an image of the wheel will show. And I presented my ID, and they allowed me in. I have to say though, what I saw to be consistent or repetitive at all of these three different attractions was that when you present your ID and you say, "Hey, I am I'm here for a free birthday special entrance," they make you take a picture with a sign that says, "It's my birthday," which can be embarrassing, right? So if you're going to choose to, take advantage of your birthday and use a free birthday special entrance, just be prepared to take pictures. But I think the embarrassment is worth it, considering that you are entering and experiencing world class attractions for free. But yeah, it can still be embarrassing because, first of all, the other visitors know that it's your birthday. And secondly, if they are aware, if they are knowledgeable, then they also know that you are getting a free ticket. So that can be a little bit embarrassing, but I think it's worth it because if you don't take advantage of your free birthday entrance at the Cape Will, you will pay. Well, at the time, I would have paid 155 Rand. So imagine that, 150 Rand, 155 Rand compared to entering for free. I will endure. taking a picture with a sign that declares to the whole world that it's my birthday so that I can enter for free. So, yeah, this was the Cape Wool ride. Entered for free instead of paying 150 Rand. My experience of the Cape Wool ride is that there's it's not the most exciting thing. So I was glad that I didn't have to pay 155 Rand to say that I got to experience the Cape Wool ride. I found it very boring. Maybe because I was there by myself, right? Because yeah, I couldn't invite anybody else to come with me because at the time I did not know anybody that I share a birthday with. So yeah, I had to do this by myself because had I invited somebody, that person would have had to pay the 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 standard fee, or I would have had to pay that for them, which defeats the purpose, right? So yeah, it's not exciting to be on the Cape Wool ride. And I spend my time just watching the couple in the other cart next to me, just being all lovey dovey, which made me feel a lot more lonely. So, yeah, but when you get to the top, you do get beautiful views of the city. It's not the most wow views because you're close to the harbor, so you get a lot of views of the of construction, or those tools, that equipment that is usually around, the harbor. And also it's the V&A waterfront. When I was in Cape Town, it seemed like there was always construction happening around the V&A waterfront. I don't know now. It's been a while since I've been at the V&A waterfront. But yeah, so also be aware that your views is mostly going to be industrial views. But you do get a nice view of the Table Mountain um behind you. So that was my first experience on that Friday of my birthday. And then following that, I went to the Two Oceans Aquarium. I honestly thought this would have been a quick visit. I was surprised by the fact that I spent the entire afternoon of my birthday at the Two Oceans Aquarium, because I'm not a fan of aquamarine or of the sea below. I'm not that type of person. I'm afraid of sharks. Even when I'm at the beach, guys, I do not go I try to not go beyond the ankle, right? I'm just like playing here close to the shore. Because I've seen things on TV and on talk shows that have traumatized me. Remember Tyra Banks' show? Tyra Banks once had a TV show. And I remember as a young kid watching this video of this teenage boy who was, just chilling at the beach with his family. They were playing foosball. And I think he was in the water like knee deep or waist deep. I can't remember, but it was enough for a shark to come and just grab him there close to the shore and drag him into the water. And he lost his leg, and that traumatized me to this day, guys. When I go to the beach, I play here, I play close to the shore. Like, we do not go, the water mustn't go above my ankle, okay? Maybe we can like play just a little bit, but we can't go beyond. The water can't go above the knee. And when it does go above the knee, we do not stay too long, okay? So that's me. And my trauma with water. Where was I going with this? I'm trying to get my train of thought. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of uh, deep ocean tourism or what is it? Is it sky? Not skydiving. What is it? Sea diving? Something like that. I forgot. You see, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I don't even know these things. Okay. Um. So yeah, I just thought that I'm just gonna get in, see what the aquarium looks like, cause I've never been to an aquarium, and then get out. But guys, I stayed there the whole afternoon learning about these creatures that I wouldn't see, on land, right? I saw these huge crabs. I saw Finding Nemo, many of them, which was so cool, because Finding Nemo was a popular movie when I was in primary school. So I was like, oh, I finally get to see what Finding Nemo looks like in real life. Okay. Yeah, I'm exposing, I think but I did that a long time ago, exposing that what era I grew up in. Um, yeah, and I got to take cool pictures. I got to experiment with my phone camera in a way that I never have before then. And yeah, I felt like I was exploring the ocean, right? In a safe way where the sharks wouldn't grab me, where I wouldn't drown. I can swim, but yeah, the ocean is another beast compared to a swimming pool, right? I do not try to swim in the ocean. Of course, I don't go. I do not allow the water to go above my knees. So of course I do not swim in the ocean. Um, so, but yeah, it was a nice experience of feeling like you are exploring the ocean, that you're submerged underwater, exploring the ocean and witnessing these different sea creatures. So I'd recommend that if you're like me, you're like, I am never gonna go deep diving. I'm never ever gonna risk it going to parts of the world that, where we do not know what exists. Right? Because the ocean is considered to be, the most unexplored part of Earth, as other than space. Yeah, let's move on. So yeah, I got cool pictures that you know yeah, will live with me forever and will help me remember that memory. And I also learned something new about South African history. I learned about a fish called the coelacanth. I hope I'm saying that correctly, which was a fish that was thought to be extinct for millions of years, like 65 millions of years. That's a lot. So, this fish is said to have existed during or since the dinosaur era, right? They even call it a fossil fish or fossil species in some, resources. So it was thought to be extinct for millions of years. However, that changed in the 1930s when a South African museum curator discovered the fish uh, in South African waters, South African shores, right? I can't remember the story. If you're interested on the story, just Google it. And her name was the person who discovered this fish still exists, right? It's not extinct. Her name was Marjorie Courtenay Latimer, and the fish was eventually named after her and called the Latimeria chalumnae. I hope I said those things, guys. anthropology, archaeology. Hey, that's not my arena. So forgive me if I'm not saying these words correctly. So I got to learn that wow, this is quite interesting that we South Africa or South Africans or a South African um discovered something that the world had thought to be extinct. And so by using my birthday special privilege at the Two Oceans Aquarium, I saved myself $190. Yeah, so I definitely recommend that you go to the Two Oceans Aquarium and, save yourself $190. I do not know what the prices are right now, but at the time they were about 170 to 190. And so I forfeited the price. I forfeited paying the price. However, I was very, very surprised that I spent my birthday at the aquarium as a 27-year-old woman. Not that there's nothing wrong with that, is that what I had observed when I was at the aquarium, I saw that the adults that were there, most of them were there with children. So the adults that were there were adults that had brought their children to the aquarium. So here I am, this lone adult. And yeah, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not that type of person who takes herself too seriously. I hope that you guys can tell from listening to me on this podcast. I don't take myself seriously. But yeah, I just felt like, oh, this is unusual for me as a single woman walking alone at an aquarium without children. But I definitely recommend it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Just go to the Two Oceans Aquarium. Take that picture that announces to everybody that it is your birthday and you're getting a free ticket. And then go learn something new about fishes, the ocean, and South African history. Are you planning to travel through Europe soon? I've heard that traveling by train is the best way to explore the countryside and discover the historical cultural wonders of the continent. So, I am interrupting my episode to tell you about Rail Europe. Rail Europe is a trusted online booking platform for European train travel. International travelers planning to travel through Europe by train can book tickets and passes using Rail Europe's website and app. Their user-friendly website offers a simple and secure booking experience, as well as multiple payment options in different currencies, catering to travelers from all over the world. Rail Europe also connects commuters to a wide variety of train operators across 35 countries. This allows travelers to search and compare trip options to find the best and cheapest tickets available. Rail Europe is your one-stop shop for European train booking and travel. Book your train ticket using the link provided in the episode description. Discover the Alps, lakes, and cities of Switzerland using Rail Europe's Swiss Travel Pass. Travelers that purchase a first-class Swiss Travel Pass get extra free travel days at no additional cost, allowing you to save whilst you enjoy more time on your Swiss adventure. Hurry! This is a limited time offer, valid until 30 December 2025. Book your Swiss Travel Pass using the link provided in the episode description. So, because I had spent the rest of my afternoon at the aquarium, I could not go to the Table Mountain and end my day the way in which I had hoped to end it, which is by, watching the sunset from Table Mountain. However, because I was aware that, okay, I can, I still have the rest of the week to do that, I then went on Sunday, on the 3rd of November, and I went after church, right? Usually, when I was in Cape Town, my Sundays would look like this. I would go to church, and other than that, if I felt like a tourist, what I would do is after church, I usually would go spend the rest of my Sunday afternoon at Camps Bay. There's a place called Maiden's Cove, and I really loved just driving there, parking my car there, and watching the ocean. There's something calming for me watching the ocean. As much as I do not want to be in it, but this just I feel very comforted when I'm close to the ocean, listening to the waves crash on the shoreline. And also, if I'm not in my car, then I would go to the rocks that are at the Maiden's Cove, and which would enable me to feel much more closer to the water and hear the waters crash against the rocks at Maiden's Cove. There's also a tidal pool there, and it's free. You don't have to pay anything. Or if I decided to sit in my car, because some days would be cold, because that's Cape Town weather, it's very unpredictable, I would watch, other tourists just like um paraglide, right? There's a an attraction at Signal Hill, or an activity available at Signal Hill where you can go paragliding. I think it's called paragliding or parasailing, one of those two. I haven't done it, but I would watch those people, and it will also be another calming visual to witness, because as they're coming closer to the land, they would hover for a while above the waters, and it would seem as if like they're moving in slow motion before, edging closer back to the land. So yeah, I really found those views calming. That's why I would go to Maiden's Cove. Um, that would be my, typical Sunday afternoon. However, that weekend or that week of my birthday, I decided that I'm gonna go to Table Mountain and spend the rest of the afternoon just watching the sunset. However, this day was very cold. The weather just changed compared to Friday. Friday was very sunny. I was wearing a summer dress. I felt very like, in summer vibes. And then that Sunday, it was like, wait, when did we go back to winter? But still, it was nice. I ordered myself a hot cup of hot chocolate, yeah, and which was 40 Rand. And I just spent the rest of the day just like taking in the views of the city and the ocean and the sunset and the cloudy tablecloth. So, what happens, especially in summer, on Table Mountain, the clouds tend to uh, fly closer to the mountain. And so when they fall down the mountain, it looks like this tablecloth made out of clouds. And Table Mountain is already this flat mountain that looks like a table. And so when the clouds do that, usually they tend to refer to them as Table Mountain's tablecloth. And so, yeah, I spent the afternoon taking videos and pictures of that, and I have these cool pictures of nature. And so, yeah, I would definitely recommend uh, using this free birthday special to ride up the mountain in the cable car. Because if you don't, or had I not used this special, I would have paid around 300 to 400 for a return trip. So this birthday special saved me 400 Rand. Guys, I got world class views. I got to experience a world class attraction for free. It wasn't my first time. visiting Cape Town. Um, the first time I visited, I mean, it wasn't my first time visiting the Table Mountain. The first time I visited Table Mountain was in high school with my dad, and we went up the cable ride. Back then, it was the cable ride now. It's it's way more improved than the cable cart that was at Cable Mountain back then. Yeah, that one looked ancient, guys. It looked like it would fall from the sky. So I'm very glad that they've caught up with technology, and um, they have now a cable cart that is safer, and it also rotates as you're going up the mountain, so you can have different views as you're going up the mountain. And so that was my first time going up Table Mountain when I was in high school. And the second time was when I hiked up Table Mountain with friends. Well, guys, grueling hike. It's a 2.5 hour hike going up the mountain and also coming down the mountain. So if you choose to do that, be prepared, guys, because when I got to the top of the mountain, I was so tired, so exhausted. Hunger, hunger. I advise that if you're gonna hike up Table Mountain, please eat a full English breakfast. Bacon, eggs, hash browns, all of it. Because when you get to the top of the mountain, you yo you will use all of that energy from that food to get up to the top of the mountain, and so you'll be exhausted. However, I wasn't aware, so I ate cereal, and then I carried fruit. When I came back down from the mountain, guys, I had this headache. I was weak. I forced myself to drive back to my apartment because I had no choice. The people I had come with, they were relying on me to take them back home. So I had to just like muster up the last bit of strength that I have to drop off my friends and then get home. And when I got home, I was so tired. I couldn't even take a shower. I just bought a quick meal to, get back some energy. And even eating the meal, guys, I struggled through it. That's how weak I was. I felt like I was going to faint. And so all I did after eating was just sleep in my sweat on my beautiful bed sheets. So that's another way to get up the Table Mountain for free. And then the third time I had visited Table Mountain was, using this birthday special uh, free entrance. So, yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think Table Mountain is considered one of the seven wonders of the world, I think. Yeah, I don't know how many there are. Last time I checked, it was seven. To my knowledge, there are seven wonders of the world, and Cape Town is one of them. So imagine that you get to experience one of the seven wonders of the world for free. So definitely, if you are in Cape Town during your birthday, I recommend that you use this opportunity to experience world class attractions for free. In fact, why don't you plan a trip to Cape Town during your birthday week, right? And save yourself the expenses, right? Because at the end of the day or the week or weekend, right? Because I did this during a weekend, I saved myself 745 Rand that weekend. I saved myself. That's a lot of money. What can you do with 745 Rand? Even today, even though inflation has gone up, prices have increased, it's still worth something, right? And so, yeah, I definitely highly recommend that if you are in Cape Town during your birthday week, save yourself some expenses by taking that privilege, using that privilege as a South African, of, getting a free birthday entrance. So at the end of the day or the week, what I spent that weekend was 40 Rand for the cup of hot chocolate that I bought when I was at the top of Table Mountain, and also for my petrol. But even still, with that, back then petrol was cheaper, at least for me and my car. I drive a Mazda 2. So back then when I first got my car, all I needed was 400 Rand to fill up my tank, a max 500 Rand. Whoa, that was a nice deal. Paying 400 Rand to fill up your tank, and then an extra 40 Rand just for a cup of hot chocolate, and then, you know, getting in for free. Getting in for free at three top world class attractions. So please do that. So that's it for today's episode. Um, I hope that this information was helpful. If your birthday hasn't passed yet, do consider this suggestion. Yeah, and with that, I will close the episode. Thank you for listening. Uh, Keep good, make good choices, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Goodbye.